Hi guys, it's Hot Mess Mama, and it is really a crazy time for me to be doing Facebook Live. I'm normally not this late, and I am normally not doing this on a Tuesday, but today is not a normal day. It is Tuesday, it is June the 5th, and it's almost 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and I am at the beach. I'm at my beach condo on the shores of North Carolina, and I had this thought. Okay, today was my son's last day of school. Now, the rest of his classmates have one day left, but we pulled him out early because we wanted to take care of some stuff here at the condo, and so we pulled him out a day early. So today was his last day. So, I just like it was any other day, I dropped him off at school, said goodbye, I said, hey, don't forget today's kind of your last day, say goodbye to your friends and everything, and I drove off. And then I go online, and there's all these pictures of moms that took these pictures that were like, first day of school in kindergarten, last day of school in kindergarten, like comparing first day and last day, or like even some parents that did like first day of school in kindergarten and like last day of school in college, and it was like, wow, these moms are really dedicated. And like, our parents never did that stuff. Like, our parents didn't even like send us off to school with anything. They're just like, here's your backpack, you know where the bus is, we'll see you when you get off the bus and walk home after school. It was never anything special. They never took any pictures. Mine didn't anyways. Did yours? I mean, like, there was no big deal that was ever made out of your first day of school. Maybe if it was like your first day of school ever, like it was the first time you got on a bus, or maybe like the first time that you actually went to like kindergarten, or like your first day of class. But like every year these parents are taking a picture of their first day and whatever grade they're in, and the last day, whatever grade they're in. I failed miserably. I don't know if you remember what happened to me this year with my kid's first day of kindergarten, but like, I blew in so late, we missed the drop off. I had to like run him into his classroom. I didn't have his supplies. I literally just threw some stuff at the teachers. I don't even know if I had a snack for him. And he was like disheveled and he had his uniform on, and I got him there in one piece. And I felt like all these other parents are there with their like cute little chalkboard signs that say like, oh, Jordan's first day, 2017, 18, kindergarten. And I'm like, I guess I'll have to take another picture outside when I pick him up, if I remember, right? So I'm feeling like a mom fail, but I at least got a picture of him around the first day of school. Might not have been the first day of school, and it wasn't with a cute chalkboard sign or anything like that. But I certainly did not take a picture today on his last day of kindergarten. So does that make me a bad mom? Like, I feel bad because I'm not doing marking all these milestones, but I'm kind of just thinking, at what point is it overkill? Like, at what point, because at what point, our moms used to do a lot of different stuff than what we do now. And of course, most of that is because like we've learned, or like science has taught us that some things you just don't do anymore, right? But like some of it is like kind of like, why don't we do that anymore? Like, that was that really so bad? And maybe there's something to that. Maybe like if we went back to the days of old and old school parenting, maybe that would be better for our kids, right? So I have my list here. So I just things I wanted to talk about really quickly. So apologies if I have to look down. It's been a long day. So first and foremost, I know that there's a lot of moms out there that are, about positive parenting, and they're not about any kind of corporal punishment. Like, they're not about like spanking, especially spanking, but like you talk to other parents too that are not about depriving. Like, they won't say like, okay, I'm going to take away your video games, or I'm going to take away your books. So they're like all about sitting them down and hugs time and quiet chairs and all of that. And okay, I've tried all that stuff, and it just doesn't work for a wide open boy like mine. So like, there are times where I will spank that child. And I know that that's probably going to have a lot of moms that are going to be pissed off at me for saying that, but there are times where I spank that child. And so, but is it really so bad? Like, if he's going to hurt himself or hurt someone else, is it so bad to give him a spanking? Like, because I remember as a kid, I would get not just spankings, but full on beatings, like with belts or spoons, rulers. Like, and I was like reading online, and people were like, yeah, my mom used to throw shoes at me or hangers and stuff like that. So they just knew that like when mom came out with that spoon, that they were in deep shit. So, and we respected that, and we stopped that behavior immediately, right? So is it really that bad? That like, at what point did we flip the switch and all of a sudden turn into this like we need to like hold hands and hug our kids into discipline? Maybe there's like a happy medium around there somewhere. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, because my kids, I can't discipline them because I'm just that horrible mom who can't keep her kids under control. I try really hard, and I pray really hard, but what can I do? But then there's the formula versus breast milk. Remember, like, everyone always says breast milk is best, but when I was being raised, the doctors came back out, and the American Academy of Pediatrics said, no, you know what, formula is actually more nutritious. And so most moms were doing formula. Now they're going back and saying, oh no, formula, breast milk is best. So what is it? Or remember, like, lay them on their back, no, lay them on their front, no, lay them on their side. Like, now everyone's like, back is best or whatever, don't lay them on their tummy. But who knows, in another year that's going to change again, right? you know. And then there was like my mom, like in her era, they were like drinking and smoking while they were pregnant. My mom's like, my mom was, I don't know, she was like freaky paranoid about all that kind of stuff. So I was like one of the children that was not susceptible to this mother drinking and smoking. But she was like, I won't even take an aspirin because I'm so scared of that stuff. And she just was really scared about like miscarrying and all that. So she didn't touch anything. But like it was very common for moms to smoke and to drink at that time. Or like when your kids are sick, like we hesitate to even give them Tylenol sometimes or Benadryl because we don't want to over medicate our children. Some people don't even give vaccinations because they think that there's problems with vaccinations. My parents would we would have hot toddies. If we weren't feeling good, if we had a headache or especially a sore throat, we'd have a hot toddy. Does anybody out there know what a hot toddy is? You know what a hot toddy is? It's literally like lemon tea with lemon, honey, and whiskey. And you're a little kid, and your parents are feeding you this, and that was really common because it would soothe your throat. It would, and it would also help relax the child. If you see someone doing that today, they get called. The Child Protective Services would get called, right? Or like our parents would put like brandy on our gums to help with teething. We didn't have teething rings. We didn't have any of that stuff. It was just a little brandy on the, or whiskey on your gums. I was like, okay. Or car seats. We didn't have car seats. I don't think we even had seat belts. And thought of like now, like you have to get a new car seat as your kid just ages up, and like your kid's gonna be in a car seat till they're like at least 40 pounds or like 4 or 5 years old, right? Like they didn't have any of that. They didn't have any of that. Or playing alone. Like we would play alone in our neighborhood. It was no big deal. We just like ran outside, got on our bikes. We rode all over the place. We never told our parents where we were going, and we just knew that when we heard the dinner bell, ding ding, literally, there's always someone in the neighborhood whose parents had a dinner bell. You'd hear the dinner bell, ding ding ding, and you would all rile up and go home. We didn't bother our parents for any entertainment. We didn't stay inside. We were outside playing, and we just knew to be safe. And we just knew to go home when we heard the dinner bell. That was our cue. So why are we so paranoid as parents now, including myself, to let our kids go out and play in the street? Or not in the street, but you know what I mean, but like go out and walk down the street to your friend's house. Or go, ride your bikes around the block without parental supervision. Helmets. We never had helmets. Bike helmets, are you kidding me? Now our kids have bike helmets and knee pads and, elbow guards. We had none of that. I mean, it's so good that we do have it now because head injuries are really, really a bad thing. Or like walking to school. I would walk a half a mile from my bus stop to my house every day. And like I knew people that would walk to school. And like, can you imagine doing that today? Can you imagine like just with all of the like crazies that are out there and like you just scooped up and put in your car and off you go? So lots of like, I don't know, do any of your kids walk to school? And did you walk to school? And like, how was it when you were growing up? My parents never baby-proofed. My parents never baby-proofed. We didn't have any gates on stairs. We didn't have those little plugs that went into, the little things that go into your outlets. We didn't have those things that went on your drawers or protected your knives. We didn't have any of that stuff. How did we survive that? And like now, literally, we've got bumpers around our tables. We've got baby monitors with cameras in it. We've got motion detectors. I mean, it's crazy all the stuff that we have now that we are baby proofing. And is it really all that necessary? Or like now, your kids don't answer the phone. Like if the phone rings, the kid doesn't pick up and answer the phone. I don't know. In my experience, like I've never seen like a 6-year-old pick up the phone when the phone rings in the house because moms and dads are just kind of like, we don't want you talking to strangers. We always picked up the phone when we were at home. And we would, I think if people said, hey, where's your mom? We would say, oh, she's not here right now. Like we'd tell that stranger that we were alone or that mom's not there, right? Sunscreen. I say this now because I'm sitting in front of like the ocean and in the sun. My parents never put sunscreen on me, ever. I mean, that's probably terrible, and that's why you're going to see all these sunspots on me. I'm probably going to prematurely age, and I have to get, everyone has to get screened out for skin cancer all the time. But like our kids, are you kidding me? We don't let them out the door unless they're covered in zinc. It's crazy. I mean, and I know that that's a legitimate concern, and we got to like protect our kids from the sun. But like, for centuries we did it without. Why all of a sudden are we now so hyper, like, sensitive to like lubing up our kids every day when they go out with sunblock? I don't know. Or like babysitters. If we ever got babysat, like I remember staying home alone by myself when I was probably about 8 years old. Like I didn't have a babysitter, but I do remember like we trusted like my parents would have trusted a 13-year-old. I have friends that were babysat by 13-year-olds like well into the evening. And now would we entrust our children with a 13-year-old if we could have someone that was older, like a kid that was driving, like 16, or even a college student? No, we would never go for a 13-year-old because are they that experienced? No. And do they know all of the things that they need to know? Are they responsible enough? A 13-year-old, and in the eyes of today, are still like young little kids, right? They're like 8th graders. So I don't know if you employ a 13-year-old babysitter that's not like, your daughter or something like that. But just something to think about. And then, like, our parents would like put us in their car, right? And we would sit in the front seat and we would pretend we were driving, or we would sit in our laps and in their laps and pretend like we were driving. And now it's like, are you kidding? You would never leave your kid alone in a car to pretend they were driving, because they could put your car into gear and go blowing through the neighborhood or something. Give me a break. Your kid is just pretending. It's pretend. And scissors. We were always using scissors on our own. We knew not to run. Well, we probably still did, running with scissors, but like, yeah, we use scissors on our own. And now our kids, we give them these like blunt tip things that you couldn't do anything with. Like, you can barely cut the paper with, because it's plastic and they're rounded tips and they've got a guard on them and all that kind of stuff. We got to wait until they're like driving a car before we give them a pair of scissors. I don't know, but moms were all stay-at-home moms before. For the most part. Now, a lot of moms are working full-time, employed, salaried, getting, okay, I just want to preface that I think that being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job in the world, because I am one, and I think that we are severely underpaid, and that it is a job. It truly is a job. But we're talking about a paid job with benefits. Like, back then, like, were we really that well dressed? Like, I think my mom was always just kind of like, you're gonna be running around the streets throwing a t-shirt or whatever. And now, like, our moms are like, we have to have the matching bows in our hair, and our kids have to have the matching outfits, and all these moms that like want to match their children so the mom and the kid will have matching outfits. Like, I don't remember ever that happening in my generation, and maybe, and it's not a bad thing, but like, I'm just thinking about the differences of when my parents parented and when we're parenting, right? But they would say, if you don't behave, you're going to go to bed without dinner. When we do that now, like, that means nothing, because the kids don't want to eat dinner anyways. But back then, if you went to bed without dinner, you felt ashamed and you were hungry, right? Sports. Like, we get our kids involved in sports so early now. Like, we didn't really like full-fledged get into sports and like team sports and like camps and like drills and all of that until probably we were in high school, right? Or like, maybe eighth grade. Now they're like starting it so young, like gymnastics starting at like 2. It's ridiculous, And I think it's great that these kids are having a physical outlet, but it's just getting so competitive so early. And the parents, the parents are crazy. The parents are crazy about getting their kids into these sports, and they're almost more competitive than the kids. Like, the parents I coached a volleyball team for our community, Parks and Rec, whatever, when I first moved to North Carolina, for like 6th and 7th graders. And I had parents that actually came down off the bench and was screaming at me and flailing their hands in my face because I didn't put their kid in to play. And I was like, ooh, this is bad. Like, we never had the 1, 2, 3s. Like, my parents never said, I'm going to count to 3. No, we're not counting 3. You get 1 and you're out. There are no 3 strikes. 1 strike. You're done, right? The sex talk. Parents now are having the sex talk with kids, and that's probably because our kids are having sex way earlier than they used to. But like, a sex talk was that was reserved for our schools to teach the kids, right? Like, did your parents give you the sex talk? No, I learned that in some like PE gym health class or something like that. And you know what? To be perfectly honest, I kind of prefer it that way, because it was a lot less embarrassing, and I could ask questions that I would not necessarily have asked of my parents. Soda. Like, our parents would put sodas in our lunches. Remember that? We would have Coke, and sometimes they were bottles and cans. We would have sodas in our lunches. We would have horrible bologna sandwiches. We had horrible Twinkies in our we had horrible nutrition in our lunches. It was terrible. We would send our kids over to our neighbors. Like, my parents would be like, hey, Sue, can you go over and get some sugar from, Joe Martin down the street? And we would go over and do that. Parents don't do that now. Parents would never send their kids down the street to go to a neighbor's house. They wouldn't do it. Well, unless they are like super tight with the neighbor. But even then, do we even do it? We just kind of go, no, I'll just get in the car and go to the store myself. I mean, that's my experience with some of the parents that I've been running into. Halloween candy. We would go trick-or-treating, and like, the second we got home, we'd be tearing into that stuff, right? Except in the 80s, I don't know if you guys remember that, but like, there was that Tylenol scare. Was it Tylenol scare where someone like put poison in Tylenol bottles, and like people were putting needles and sharp objects in Halloween candy? So that's when all the parents kind of started to survey and examine the candy before the kids got it. But that was only a couple of years, and that kind of faded out. But now it's like every parent wants to go through all the buckets of the candy, and they want to make sure they inspect all the candy, and all the candy. You would never get like a candy apple today, right? Or you would never get homemade treats today. Everything has to be wrapped for safety, right? Or even like in the schools, like everything has to be especially in public schools, they don't allow you to bring in home baked treats. You have to like have stuff that's bought off the shelves from like Little Debbie. I don't know. Or like my mom, she would like leave me in the car. She'd be like, okay, I'm going to leave you in the car and I'm going to go run in and get a gallon of milk. There's no way you would see a mother doing that today. There's just no way. You see all those stories about mothers that like would leave their kids in the car and, you know, irresponsible things would happen. Like it would get overheated, or someone would, you know, could abduct your child, or, you know, you're just putting your kid at a safety risk. But our parents did it to us all the time, and we just knew to sit there quietly, and our parents knew to come back out quickly. And if we were in any kind of needed an emergency, that's when we would leave the car, right? How freaking crazy is this? Crazy. Cloth diapers. Cloth diapers. I had cloth diapers. And I know there's a lot of moms out there that do the cloth diapers, and God bless you for doing it. But like in my generation, that was the norm. Like I don't even think we had disposable diapers at the time. And I remember not enjoying them, and I could not put them on my own child because I am just that lazy. So, peanut butter. Our parents put peanut butter on everything. There's peanut butter and peanuts in everything. And now today it's like, must be the Antichrist, because there's always someone in some group that has some sort of peanut allergy. You know, and then, I know. So it's just, I'm looking at this huge old list of all this stuff. Like there's tons of other stuff on here. What are some of the things that your parents used to do when they were raising you that we no longer do anymore for one reason or another? Maybe for a safety issue, or maybe for just a societal bias kind of an issue. My dad took me out and we would shoot and hunt guns. We would shoot and hunt with guns together when I was a little kid. I was shooting pistols and I was shooting rifles, and we were hunting. I know that there's probably some parents that are out there now, but I mean, like, it's just so frowned upon to be putting a gun in the hands of a child, right? Because of all that is going on in society right now with all of the school shootings and yada, yada, yada. But gosh, there's so many things, right? You think about it. Think to yourself, what did my mom do or my dad do that there's no way in hell would pass today in today's, like, culture, right? Or what would you think that, like, gosh, you know, our parents did it. Why don't we still do it? Like, what's it hurting, right? No. So think on it, and put in the comments here, like, what some of your experiences have been, like what your parents did, maybe what you do, and what you think we should be doing, or what we shouldn't be doing, or what you think in like 20 years when your kids are having kids, they're going to look back at you and go, Mom, I cannot believe that you did this, right? So things to ponder. What moms used to do, and was it really so bad, or were they onto something? So thanks for joining me again for another Facebook Live. Again, sorry for the delay and the really late posting, but hopefully if you want to send this on to someone else to watch or forward or replay it later, I'll have this saved into the feed. And certainly please like, comment, forward it on, share it with others, and I just really would love to get your engagement on this one, because this is what I was really thinking about. Like, wow, it's crazy how times change, right? So have a great night, guys. Good luck to the moms on your kids' last day of school, which I know is coming up. And we will be doing another Facebook Live this week. We'll be doing another wine tasting. Not sure what the pairing is going to be. If you guys have special requests, we'll certainly take it. Have a great night, guys. Take care.